What's up everyone, it's Synchron here. Today I'll be bringing you all my Dark Magician deck profile with the new added card, Bond Between Teacher and Student. And for draw power, I do still run the Blue Boy Spellbook engine. In case worst comes to worst, I could get a couple more draws, a couple more searches with the deck, or at least if anything, bait my opponent with the Blue Boy search and go from there. But no more rambling, let's get started. Alright, so for the monsters we do run, definitely want to run 3 Dark Magician. That's the main boy of the deck. Different artwork, I just wanted to do that because why not? 1 Dark Magician Girl. You don't have to run more than 1 because honestly the deck, yeah, you can easily get her out with no problem. Except 3 Apprentice Magician Girl. Obviously that's not Apprentice Magician Girl, but you know what? If I don't have it, I'll use a card substitute. You can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 card. Easy way to get it out. And if it's a normal summon special summon, you add a Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, and during damage calculation, if another dark spellcaster you control battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, either send this card to the grave or discard it. You can allow that spellcaster you control to gain 2000 attack. Basically, surprise your opponent if they don't know you're running Dark Magicians. You could just trick them in any way. Next up, 3 Rod. When this card is normal summoned, you can add a spell trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text, just another way to search out these spell traps. And during your opponent's turn, if a spell trap or effect is activated while this card's in the grave, except during damage step, tribute the spellcaster, add this card back from your grave to your hand. Next up, 2 Magic Illusion. Sorry, can you see that? Yeah. 2 Magic Illusion. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field. And you can only use the following effects once per turn. During your opponent's turn, if you activated a spell or trap or effect, except during your damage step, special summon this card from your hand. And if you activate a spell or trap card or effect while this card is face up on the field, you can special summon you could target a Dark Magician in your grave and special summon it. So basically, easy way to special summon itself and easy way to get Dark Magician back from the grave. But since the fusion monster, the Dark Magician Dragon Knight, counts as Dark Magician on the field and in the grave, you're more than likely able to special summon it back to your side of the field, thus protecting your backfield from card destruction. And next up, the Spellbook Searcher. 2 Spellbook Prophecy. Doesn't hurt the deck too much, and if anything, it's a spellcaster you contribute off for the other effects. Next up, Effect Veiler, because why not just stop your opponent's plays during their turn, stop their Sayudra, stop their anything really. And yeah, that about wraps up the monsters. For the spells, obviously, this is Dark Magician, so you want to run 3 Circle. When a Dark Magician monster is special summoned to your side of the field, banish an opponent's monster, and when this card's activated, look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 card that specifically lists, and either reveal 1 Dark Magician or 1 Spell Trap that specifically lists Dark Magician in its card text. So again, just another easier way to get other cards, other Dark Magician cards from your deck to your hand. And like I said, if a Dark Magician is special summoned to your side of the field, target a card your opponent controls and banish it. And like I said, Spellbook Engine. 2 Knowledge. Send to the grave either a spellcaster you control or a spellbook from your hand or face up on the field. Draw 2 cards. And if anything, 2 Spellbook of Secrets, just to add the spellbook from your deck to your hand. Next up, Itemias. Get out the Dark Magician Fusion or the Magician Girl Fusion from your extra deck to your side of the field for whatever plays. And the new card that we got from Duel Power, 2 Bond Between Teacher and Student. Obviously, that's not the second copy, but I don't own a second one right now, so that would have to do. Basically, if you control a Dark Magician, special summon 1 Dark Magician Girl from your hand, deck, or grave. Very useful to get her out. Then you can set a dark magic attack, dark burning attack, dark burning magic, that's the duo one, or dark magic twin burst directly from your deck. Now we don't own dark magic twin burst, but if we did, obviously you'd want to run it. Next up, dark magic inheritance. Banish two spells from your grave. Add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl in its text, all once per turn. Next up, Dark Magic Expanded. Apply the following effects depending on the number of Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girls in your grave. +1. +1. One dark spellcaster you control gains 1,000 attack. +2. This turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to spell or trap activations. Also, spell cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. 3. Not that hard to get out with this deck. Dark spellcasters you control are unaffected by opponent card effects. Easy way to get attack bonus, easy way to stop your spell and traps from being destroyed by battle or card effect, and easy immunity. Next up, Dark Burning Attack. If you control Dark Magician Girl, you basically destroy all cards your opponent controls. Dark Magic Attack for the Dark Magician, blow up your opponent's back row, and finally, the Illusion Magic. Tribute a spellcaster, add 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, all once per turn. Pretty amazing when it comes to switching out the Dark Magician, which you do want to see in your hand as soon as possible. For the traps, definitely want to run 3 Navigation, definitely a must. Basically what this card does, you can more likely special summon this during your opponent's turn, but basically you special summon a Dark Magician from your hand, then you special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from your deck. Easy way to get Dark Magician Girl out on your side of the field, or Apprentice, or even the Illusion Magic, whichever one you want to do. Next up, if this card is in the grave, you can activate the second effect, except the turn this card was sent to the grave. But basically, if you control a Dark Magician, banish this card from your grave and target a face-up spell or trap your opponent controls, and it has its effects negated during until the end of the turn. Next up, basically the revival / destroyer of your deck if it leaves the field. 3, Eternal Soul. Every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by opponent's card effects, and if this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all monsters you control, and you can only activate 1 effect once per turn. Either special summon a Dark Magician from your hand or grave, or add a Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Knives from your deck to your hand. Just another way of searching Dark Magician support cards, but the bond between student and teacher basically searches the other cards that we do run in the deck. Finishing off the traps, 2 Lost Wind, pretty useful. Target an effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and half its attack. If this card's in the grave, and your opponent controls a monster from the special summon from the extra deck, reset it but banish it when it leaves your side of the field. Finishing off the video with the extra deck, definitely run 2 Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. This card is considered Dark Magician on the field and in the grave, and basically this card prevents your opponent from targeting or destroying your spell and traps. Easy way to get it back is Eternal Soul, or any other way. By all means, go for it. Next up, Amber the Dragon. Target any grave and banish all spells within that grave. This card gains 100 attack for every spell banished by this card's effect. And if it's destroyed, you can target a spellcaster in your grave and special summon it to your side of the field. Next up, another itemized target, Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Not too useful, but if you do get it out, you are allowed to use her effect once per turn. You can discard a card, target a card your opponent controls, and destroy it. Not that bad, not too great, but if anything, it does kind of help, but not really. For the XZs, one big eye, detach material, take an opponent's monster, but this card cannot attack directly. Next up, 1 Naruto the Mortal Leader, 2 level 6 spellcaster monsters, and once per turn, if your opponent activates the spell or trap, quick effect, detach, negate, and destroy. And the reason why we do run 1 Naruto is, if anything, you don't have 2 level 7s in your side of the field, so you basically use it as XC material for Ebon Illusion. This card can this card can be XC summoned by using a rank 6 monster you control as material. All material that was within that XC monster is transferred to Ebon, and once per turn you can detach a material, special summon a normal spellcaster monster from your hand or deck to your side of the field, and if a normal spellcaster monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you could banish that opponent's monster instead. Not too hard to get out. If anything, you have either the Magician, Dark Magicians, or the or the Naruto to get it out with these. Next up, we Witch's Apprentice, 500 attack boost for all dark monsters on the field, 400 attack and defense decrease for all light monsters on the field, and if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, target a dark monster in the grave, add it to your hand. Next up, another card we got from Duel Power, Crownly the First Professor. What this card does is, when it's being summoned, you reveal 3 spellbook cards from your deck. Your opponent randomly chooses one, and you shuffle the rest back into the deck. But what I like about this card is it allows you to normal summon level 5 or higher spellcaster monsters, without tributing. So say you have a Dark Magician, you got no tribute, this card's on your side of the field, just easy normal summon. And finishing out the extra deck, 1 Borrow Load. You can't go wrong with Borrow Load. You can't go wrong with stealing your opponent's monsters, getting rid of that problematic monster that you can't get over, but you do go into a Borrow Load and bam. You just turn the game from there. But that's going to do it for the extra deck. That's going to do it for the video. I don't show side decks a lot because side decks are your preference. You do what you want to do with side decks. And yeah, all that said, all that rambling done, I'll see you on the next video. I hope you all enjoyed. Share the video with someone else who may be interested in the video. Give it a like, give it a dislike, have your voice heard in the comment section down below, and see you all next time.